Hello, you're watching TVP World Talks. I'm Janusz Lewicki. Poland's government is said to be in an awkward position after a former Polish justice minister accused of major offences has evaded prosecution by travelling from Hungary to the United States, reportedly with Trump's backing, outpacing the efforts of Polish justice system to secure the requisite warrant. So will the ruling party remain determined to pursue the fugitive ex-minister even despite Washington's reluctance to facilitate their efforts? What diplomatic impact will the case have on the ever-important Polish-American alliance? Joining us here today is Michał Wawrykiewicz, Polish MEP from the European People's Party. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So Mr. Zbigniew Ziobro, the former Polish justice minister, he faces some really serious charges. How did it happen that he found himself in the United States before anything could be done with respect to securing his presence at a court of law?
Well, as you said, Mr. Ziobro is charged with numerous crimes, 26 crimes by the prosecutor office, including forming the criminal group inside the Ministry of Justice, which is a very serious issue, defrauding over 100 million zlotys and abusing power. And he escaped to Hungary at the beginning of this year, and he was granted the political asylum by Viktor Orban, which was the clear violation of the European Union law. As we can see, he escaped now after the change of power in Hungary. He escaped to the United States. We don't know the legal background of his travel yet, but as we know, he should be granted with a visa by the American administration. Now, I think that the Polish administration, including the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, are trying to establish what was the legal ground of his travel to the United States, but definitely he is trying to evade his legal accountability, staying in the United States and being aware that the extradition proceedings is necessary to get him back to Poland and to face justice in front of the Polish judiciary.
So his attorney says that because there was no European arrest warrant issued yet, he was free to travel wherever he wanted to. Why wasn't the question of the warrant resolved earlier on? This would have surely made issues a bit less complicated along the way, especially given that the change of power in Hungary, well, of course, it was not a foregone conclusion, but it was a possibility, which has now materialized. So why weren't all the requisite documents ready by then?
Well, one explanation, he is definitely wanted by the Polish authorities, by Polish prosecutor office, which is chasing him. As you said, there is no European arrest warrant already issued by the Polish court. The proceeding is ongoing, but at the same time, there was a judgment of the Polish court about the arrest against him on the territory of Poland. And as I said, the Polish prosecutor office is chasing him formally. So this is not true that he was totally free to travel around the world.
Well, effectively, he did travel to the United States. And of course, as you said, the question of legal basis for that travel remains open. But there is another question, namely that according to reports, this might have happened with some help provided by the US administration, which, by the way, according to these reports, was not even unified whether to do that or not. Some say it was President Trump personally saying, yes, we should allow this guy to travel into the US. Now, do you think that if the US authorities are going to refuse to cooperate, is it worth confronting them over that issue, given the rather complex situation that we as Poland and as member of the European Union, but also as an ally to the United States, are currently in?
Well, as you said, the situation is quite complicated, but first we need to establish what was the reason and what was the legal ground of his travel, because we need to remember that his passport, also diplomatic passport, was taken away from him by Polish authorities. So actually he didn't have any document to travel on the basis of the American visa. He had only this Geneva refugee document, which is not the proper document to be able to get the American visa. So first, Polish authorities, together with American authorities, need to establish this situation from the legal point of view. But second, I think that Polish authorities and American authorities need to discuss what was the political ground of this decision, if it was the decision of the American administration, and if American administration is fully aware of the charges that he is facing in Poland, serious charges, as I said, of a criminal nature, because maybe the case was that American authorities were told that this is only a political chase, this is only a revenge, political revenge, but the truth is that we are facing the serious criminal charges against Mr. Ziobro.
So now we've only had rather limited signals from the US side. We had a very terse response concerning that issue. I believe it was from the State Department, basically said that the questions of granting visa are confidential, that we're not able to provide any sort of comprehensive response to that. That was just, I believe, a few hours ago. But also we had well, not a tweet technically, we had a message from US President Donald Trump on his own social media platform, which basically related to the Polish president, his cooperation with freeing up political prisoners in Belarus. But it was only released now. It was not released when the political prisoners were actually handed over. So more than a week ago, I believe. Do you think that there is more to it? Could this be some sort of veiled signal from the US president?
Well, I don't want to read this signal as something else that it is already said, that Polish president was involved in freeing of political prisoners, including Andrzej Poczobut from Belarus. I don't think it is somehow connected with the issue of Mr. Ziobro. And I believe because we are a very strong alliance, I mean Poland and the United States. This is a very tough tie between these two countries and a very good cooperation on many levels. So I believe this question and this issue will be also settled. I mean the issue of Mr. Ziobro, because, as I said, he should be transported to Poland on the basis of extradition, and he should face accountability in front of the Polish justice.
Ambassador Tom Rose actually mentioned before, according to reports to Poland's foreign minister, that this would not happen, yet it has happened. Is this sufficient grounds to perhaps hold a conversation officially with the US ambassador here in Warsaw?
Well, I believe that Radosław Sikorski, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, will call the ambassador, American ambassador, and will ask him politely what was the ground, the political ground and also legal ground of that decision, if that decision was taken by American administration. And I would like to remind you also that a far-right broadcaster, Republika, who is definitely supporting Law and Justice Party in Poland, declared that somehow he was, Ziobro traveled to the United States as a correspondent of Republika. So there is also suspicion that he was granted the journalist visa. We still don't know it. We need the confirmation, as I said, for the legal ground of the document, the travel document of Mr. Ziobro. But Polish prosecutor office is also investigating possible assistance of Republika or anyone else in the travel of Ziobro and as a consequence, evading the accountability in Poland.
Michał Wawrykiewicz was our guest today here on TVP World. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And I'm Michał Wawrykiewicz. You're watching TVP World. Stay with us for more latest news and updates.